It's like that with any skill. And so I have spent a great deal of time learning about how skills are learned, because public speaking is, after all, a skill, and you can get better at it in any form. The reason why many people are anxious about public speaking, or they fumble around their presentations, they're not exactly sure what to do, is because they don't do it very often. We don't public speak and deliver presentations all day long. I mean, yes, we are public speaking now, but in the case of in front of an audience delivering a presentation, that's not something we're born with. We're not born with a PowerPoint clicker in our hands. And so when business professionals especially tell me, well, I'm nervous about public speaking, or I'm not very good at it, I say, well, that's because no one's great at any particular skill until they've worked at it and practiced. And so what I've done this with Jeff Bezos as well in my new book, is I look at very early presentations from Jeff Bezos. I did this with Steve Jobs too, like 30 years or 20 years before they became super famous. I was able to retrieve like early videos where Jeff Bezos is talking to at a university. And this is when he first started Amazon, like 2 years after he started the company. And it was still kind of catching on. A few people knew about it, but that presenter, that speaker was very different than the person 30 years later. And the same with Steve Jobs, because they worked at it. I recall reading something about Martin Luther King. We all know the I Have a Dream speech at the Lincoln Memorial. That's what everybody cites. That's what we know. That's what we quote. That's what the video we've seen over and over. But people who knew him said that when he was in a dorm room, a dormitory at university, he was like listening to sermons. Because he was a preacher first, right? He was a preacher, and he was listening to sermons, and he was practicing those sermons out loud. So I think by the time you get to the I Have a Dream speech, he's already given thousands and thousands of speeches. So I think it's very easy to look at these great public speakers and say, well, they're really good and they're natural. I'm not like that. Well, neither were they. It takes time, and it takes practice, which is why I recommend kind of doing what we're doing here.